definitely been times where I'll play Jonah something and he'll be like, why don't you just play something else on the piano?
Hey everyone, it's your girl Emily Curl with iHeartRadio, and our boys are back today. We are joined by Why Don't We? Hi guys.
What's up? How's it going?
We're so happy to have you guys here. Welcome back after a 9-month hiatus. You announced your return. How did you know that this was the right time?
Oh my gosh.
It honestly, I think was the right time, probably 3 or 4 months prior to us coming out. But when COVID hit, you know, we kind of had to adjust and figure out when the right time was. But we were really trying to, you know, come back as soon as we could, as soon as possible.
It's kind of wild though, because we had that extra time. That's when we wrote the single Fallin and some of our favorite songs. So if there's a silver lining there, that's that.
I love Falling, and I thought it was so cool that you said it was the last song that you wrote in the studio, but the first one that you put out. How was this one? How did you know this is the one you wanted to lead with?
Oh man, I mean, you know, a lot of artists will say that the most simple songs and the least thought through songs are the best, and I can totally attest for that now because, you know, with us, typically when we write a song, I feel like we really take a lot of time to try to perfect it, and a lot of changes are made, and we're a bit OCD when it comes to making a song. But with Fallin, it came together in about an hour, the whole song, and no changes.
1 hour? Really?
Yeah, it was just the way it even came out of us was pretty bizarre because we weren't really thinking hard on it at all. It just kind of flowed out of us. So probably one of my favorite songs we've wrote and sessions we've had writing a song. So it just felt special. And when we sent it to, you know, our label and management and just about anyone, they all unanimously agreed that it was the one. So we knew.
And you guys all unanimously agreed too. Was there any back and forth of like, were we sure, we're not sure, or you guys all knew?
Not even a single stitch of that.
And that's when you know.
Love it. Now you said this is a new era for you. How have you all changed individually? And then how has that impacted the way that you've changed as a group?
I mean, we came into this business when we were kids, essentially. Zach was 15, I was 18 as the oldest. And I mean, we went pretty much right out on tour. We dropped a bunch of music and went right out on tour. And it was amazing. We got to travel and learn and do all of this cool stuff from a young age. And the one thing we didn't really get to do is like take a step back and like really think about like, okay, this is who we want to be. This is what we want to stand for. This is like the message we want to put out. This is the sound we want to have. Those types of, you know, bigger picture things. And I think that this year was that year for us to be reflective, personally and as a band, and just like really come back with like so much force. It feels really good.
And now, I know we kind of mentioned this on Falling, but when you are creating new music, is there ever, you know, a back and forth? Is it ever a challenge to align on music within the band, you know, within the band? Like, do you guys ever have differencing opinions or anything like that? Or are you, for the most part, in this new era, pretty much aligned?
We're very aligned with the album for sure that we made. We're all like in love with every song, I think. But I would say that the place where we're super honest with each other is when we're writing. Like you know, obviously we're just pushing each other to be the very best we can be. And when we're sitting in the room, it's like, if you know you can throw any idea out there, but sometimes, you know, you just got to be like, I think we could get something better than that, and that's just the reality of it. So. But that didn't happen with Fallin.
I definitely remember there have definitely been times where I'll play Jonah something and he'll be like, why don't you just play something else on the piano? And vice versa, you know.
Yeah,
but someone needs to do it, you know, like you gotta say it.
Now, for each of you, is there a part of the process that you maybe gravitate towards more, whether it's singing or writing, recording, producing? Do you each kind of have your specialty?
Definitely. Daniel's been the master of the producing world. He produced this whole album along with Jason Joshua, which was really fun.
Yeah, I love melodies. Jonah is pretty nuts with the lyrics. Jack is pretty crazy with the production too, and really comes at it kind of left field. Like he'll come with something that you would never think of, And Corbin comes with the craziest R&B melodies that, he goes for that note that you didn't think was in the scale that you're working in. That's the one that he finds and goes crazy with.
It's usually out of key too.
And obviously, in like with music nowadays and with everything we see online and social media, I find for me, I'm constantly evolving and sort of challenging myself creatively. For you guys, where do you sort of find that creative challenge, and how do you continue to improve and continue to work on your craft?
I would say we continue to improve probably on just inspiration between us 5. I mean, luckily for us, there's 5 of us too, and that kind of leaves, a bigger pot for inspiration to brew up. But yeah, I mean, music is changing every day, and us being in pop music, we like to kind of keep up with that and see what the new sound is. And then, from that, take what, we feel our personal sound is, or our personal lyrics, and kind of add our own personality to, whatever we like.
I think something that gives us a lot of inspiration too is when we're touring, just like coming off the stage and that night, like on the tour bus, coming up with an idea and still kind of staying in that element of like being on stage and seeing the fans' excitement and that kind of a thing. Like, it gives you a lot of like direct connection, and it's nice to write from that spot too. A lot of this album was written on the road.
Now, when you think about singing Fallin for the first time to a huge audience, everyone's screaming the lyrics back at you, where do you want to perform that first show?
Our first show back, I mean, ideally would be like Madison Square Garden.
Yeah.
Yeah,
wild.
The Rose Bowl. The Rose Bowl's goal for sure. The thing is, Fallin to me, when you hear it, does sound like a song that should be played in a Rose Bowl.
Yeah.
It's meant for a gargantuan live show.
And there's a couple other ones on the album that are like that too.
Oh yeah.
What else from the album are you most excited for your fans to hear?
There's one song on the album that's a bit of a show closer. Like, we wrote it kind of intentionally to end the show with a bang, and that one's gonna be crazy.
There's one that's more of like a piano ballad, and we got a big orchestra on that as well, which is really interesting and fun too.
Cool, excited to hear it. Now, this is obviously a huge election year, and you all started Why Don't We Vote? Why did you want to create something like this?
I mean, just coming back as part of our message, we really wanted to encourage young people's voices to be heard. I think that as young people, we're the future of the world, and we have a lot to say and a lot to think. And I think there's also this common like misconception that your vote is just one, and it's not going to impact really the whole election. But this election is so important, and probably the most important of our lifetime. And we just really want our supporters to get out there and vote for leaders who will best affect you and your family and your community. And it feels really good to see some fans reaching out and saying that they registered because of us and that kind of a thing.
So important. I'm so glad you guys are doing that too. And speaking of fans, we actually have one of your biggest fans here with us today, and she has a couple questions for you guys. Let's go ahead and bring her in. Welcome, Susanna. Hi, Susanna.
Hi.
Look at those posters. Oh my God.
Susanna came ready. Susanna, how are you feeling with Why Don't We?
I'm good. I'm nervous.
Don't be nervous.
Same. I'm nervous.
We're nervous to talk to you, Susanna.
Now, Susanna, you have a couple questions for the guys. Do you want to go ahead and jump in?
Okay, yeah. Was there ever a time during your break that you took like really cool photos but you couldn't post them?
Yeah. I got this camera that like it's digital, but it acts like a film camera, so you take really cool pictures on it. And I took a lot, and I wanted to post them.
Ooh, that's cool.
Yeah, I had a couple we went out to like Lake Havasu in Arizona with our tour manager and like us, and there were some pictures from that little trip too that were really cool, like some cliff jumping videos and
that was fun.
Pictures of the sunset and stuff. I'll probably end up posting them at some point.
Throwback photos. What was the inspiration for like your sudden rock vibe? And did you guys like, was this your goal since you started the band that you wanted to end up like this?
Good question.
Wow.
The inspiration for the rock vibe, I think it came partly from the music we were listening to. I think it came partly from you guys, the fans, just hearing what you guys kind of gravitated towards on the road with the music we did have, and just our personal, like the music that we just personally liked. I think had to do with it. But yeah, it just felt right, and we definitely have wanted to get to this point where we're playing instruments in our live shows and writing our own music. And I don't think we exactly knew what the music would sound like until we made it, but I'm really happy with where it's at.
I will say that the rest of the album is very like unique and different in its own way. It's not all like super rock vibe. There's something for everything. There's something for everyone on there.
Yeah,
And,
there's
you'll
not
hear that
another
for sure.
song that sounds like Fallin.
Nope. Yeah. Not even close.
How has COVID affected you? And do you think that there was more positive sides or negative sides to COVID?
Oh, man. I mean, overall, I would say there's a lot more negative sides to COVID just because the world can't function properly right now. But there was a few positive sides for us in that we got some more time to work on the album and got to perfect our craft. And we actually got COVID. 4 of us got COVID, which was wild. I probably got it the worst and was in bed for a couple weeks with a fever and feeling super weak, and it was scary. It was really scary.
Oh my gosh, yeah.
Mask.
I got it twice too.
Oh yeah.
Twice?
No, you did
You could get
not.
it twice?
Yeah, well, so I had it pretty early on, just when they were figuring out, what it was, and I didn't even know what it was. But it felt pretty terrible. I mainly was sore and just on my muscles, and then
You tested positive for the antibodies though after that.
Yep, I went to get
Yeah.
tested. I was negative, but they said I had the antibodies. And I was like, oh, so did I have it? He's like, and then I ended up getting it when kind of everyone else did again.
Jack
So I was
coughs.
like,
Don't worry, that's not.
We're all
COVID,
negative. We're all negative.
Good now. Susanna, thank you so much. Thank you for all those questions. Why don't we thank you guys so much for being here. So
Nice to meet you, Susan. Nice to talk, Emily.
Thank you guys so much. So appreciate the time.
You guys.
Did you enjoy that interview? Thank you so much for watching. Make sure to stream all of Why Don't We's music on iHeartRadio, including their new single, Fallin. We'll see you next time. Hey guys, thanks so much for watching. Did you like that video? You can check out more over here. And don't forget to subscribe to iHeart right here. And if you're already a longtime fan, make sure you ring the bell down below so you don't miss a single video. Bye guys.